Hey guys, gamers in the zone, and welcome to another episode of Touhou 2 Story of Eastern Wonderland. In the last episode, we attempted to go for a good ending using the mobile type, I believe, and we got ourselves another informal comment from Freezing Time. In the last video, he states, in terms of returning to this game after a while, definitely remembering some things that got on my nerves. I can definitely relate. This game sometimes can get as frustrating as Touhou 11, but in its special way. By the way, hi again, gamer of gamers. The best shot type would be second, the one that does not fully rely on the orbs. The first one you have chosen in this episode is the mobile type, which is spread type, good in stages, but bad against bosses. The third one, which fully relies on the orbs, is a full focus, or you can say typical Marisa shot type. It even has some lasers. Harder stages, easier to kill bosses, if you can hit with them, of course. The second one, balance type, is typical Reimu with homed shots. I don't think I need to explain what's good about it. To be honest, as I said before, there are no real tips for this game. A lot of things can work or not, only depending on your end boss position. It's just better to remember the hard parts, so there will be a higher chance of surviving them, knowing the danger, or at least making higher chances of bombing them. Those places are magical stones, random lasers, angel mid-boss in general, Marisa's spinning orbs around the screen, Marisa's attack, when she explodes her own orbs. Okay. Mima's throwing orbs, almost every type of them, and since you can't predict which one it'll be, better always be cautious around them, though you can make this list longer or shorter by yourself. About the third stage rule, I think you need it, but now it'll be the second stage rule, since game 1 stage is shorter than the rest. Well, you can do the third stage one, but only if you think you need it. Well, let's talk about Marisa now, shall we? Actually, I was supposed to tell you about her in Touhou 8, but anyway, let's talk about the easiest part of the lore. At a pretty young age, she was with Reimu and Renosuke, one of the Touhou book/manga characters. There's a manga to Touhou? Or book series? Interesting. I'm not sure if it's an official one made by Zun or if it's fan-made. I don't know. I don't know what forms of lore exists in what franchises. He's an old friend to Marisa's dad. Also, he runs an antique shop named Corindo. He is half yokai with the ability to know the purpose of the items when he sees them. And to Marisa, he's like a second dad. Maybe an older brother, uncle. They were looking at a meteor shower, and after seeing those falling stars, Marisa decided to learn magic. And those will be as flashy as those stars. All it was between 200 and 2002. I don't know when you say 200 if you meant to say 2000 or if that's just 200. Huh? It doesn't make any sense since we see her in-game made in 1997, despite Touhou being parallel to our timeline. Well, here's the thing. Zun said that everything in PC 98 is canon as long as it doesn't contradict any of the newer stuff. So is this a paradox? Yes, but it can easily be resolved if we put games 2 to 5 in 2000 to 2002. Strange? Yeah, but let's stick to that so we can combine all information. Somehow after that, Marisa and Mima and she started teaching her magic in Makai, since it was stated that both eras that it's the perfect place to study magic. If I remember correctly, I'd have to go back and look at your other informal comment in the first game, but isn't Makai like, I think it's like the home of the yokai or something like that, or was it like a land of like evil spirits? I can't exactly remember. Though there is a chance that Marisa found Makai by herself, and there she met with Mima, so now she's a faithful disciple example of her, and to be honest, Nema is a great magician, so no wonder. Even if she fights Reimu, I think she more like sparring with her or playing, because it's easy to see that she's not really serious about all this, and even says Reimu to train harder to beat Nema. It's like they're friends, but since she's on Mima's side, it's a great opportunity to fight. At least I can see it like this. Well, I guess that's all. Take care. I would say that sounds something kind of like a rivalry, kind of like Sonic and Knuckles, and how there might be they're like rivals and stuff, and sometimes there might be instances where Knuckles sometimes fights Sonic because he's like convinced that Eggman's the good guy at times, which seems to be the case for that upcoming live-action Sonic sequel. Don't entirely know the details though, since I am not interested in those movies. So now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the game. So, once again, thank you very much for your informal comments, Freezing Time. So, let's go ahead and take Freezing Time's suggestion and focus on the defensive type that moderately uses the Yin-Yang Orbs. So this should supposedly make it a bit more manageable this time around. So this should have like a decent balance between difficulty with bosses and the regular stage. So the one I was using makes the regular stages easy, but makes the bosses hard. Or at least in terms of its effectiveness. Alright, so we start with that. Oh, get over here. I had a feeling, and I missed a power. Oh, what was that for a single frame? I thought I saw something. Okay. Oh, it is possible to shoot these things. I'm kind of scared of, like, sticking around the corner because, like, I have no idea if... And, of course, I missed the power. I have no idea if, like, one could hit me by just being right in front of me. Alright, anyway. So these are supposed to be homing projectiles? I'm sure they'll be a bit more on the homing side once I get a bit more power. So far, it's kind of hard to tell. No, pick it up, Reimu. Come on. Perfectly good power lying right there. You keep missing them. Gotcha. I knew I shouldn't have gone that far off. I'm missing a lot of power. Alright, let's go. Alright, decent amount of power to start. Out of nowhere bullets coming after me. Like always, they're fairly easy to dodge. Alright, let's go. So yeah, I do think I'm going to start applying the rule from this point onward that if I die on the first or second stage, that I do think that'll be it'll probably be best we restart, since I clearly won't stand a chance. I thought this was the homing type. Do they only home in once I get up to full power, or am I just not using it correctly? Alright, and then it's gonna, yeah, fire the beams from the side. Alright, let's go. So like always, first stage is simple. Alright, moving on. Alright, then... this part's simple. Take... Hey. Trying to be sneaky tacking it from behind, are we? Well, it ain't gonna work. Okay, I can see you trying to come in from behind. And it ain't gonna work. Did I just get an extra life, or was that for the power boost? I couldn't quite hear that. Or pay attention to what that did, whatever that noise was. Alright. Now we got this guy who fires the strange projectiles. Kind of reminds me of Void Termina from Kirby's Star Allies a little bit with whatever it is that it's firing. Alright, and then, okay, more of these guys. I can definitely see the difference in terms of using the defensive type, because I'm definitely seeing it being a little bit more difficult to take out certain enemies. See what the difference is between the red bullets and the power items. Nonetheless, keep trying to pick up the power. Alright. Oh yeah, and then there was the... no wait, that's next stage, so I'm thinking of the red orbs. Ah! Yes, I'm sure. Because I had to mess that up. And I am gonna apply the opening stage rule, or first half rule is what I'll call it. Did I just use a continue by accident? Come on. I didn't even mean to use a continue. No, I don't want to continue. Okay? Alright, let's try that again. Simple mess up. It was early on. Won't be repeated. Alright, get them big points by being up high. No sign of it. Of course I miss power. Power going, and then start attacking. Did I miss that one? I think they fled before I could get the chance to shoot them. Yeah, some of them are fleeing before I can get the chance to shoot them. Alright, and then they start coming from the different direction. Okay, it looks like nothing happens when I, like... Oh, nice try. So I'm assuming that it's safe to, I wanted to grab that power. Alright, doesn't matter. The mid-boss went out easily. Gotcha. Shrine grounds. Ah, missed one. Missed another one. Gotcha. Ah, missed another one. Alright, more easy to avoid attacks. So now it's on to the first boss of the game. Oh boy, I get the feeling I'm gonna be doing certain things for a while. Yeah, and this is kind of one thing I don't like about sometimes when it comes to using my half-stage rule, because I'm always in instances where I'm always doing the early on stuff a lot of the time, and then it just, like, having to do it a lot in a single video. Sometimes, yeah, it can be kind of soul-draining. Alright, next stage. I'm guessing that sound effect is for, like, when I get an extra life. Okay, I should be a bit cautious here. Some of those bats fire at me. Oh, why did I choose not to go for the power? I can't reach that. Oh, come on, that counted as a hit? Really? Just trying to stock up on some power, and then they keep doing that to me. No, I don't want to continue. I want to restart. Come on. We're already a decent ways into this episode, and I keep dying from stupid mess-ups on the second stage. Alright, get over here. Where's that power at? No, 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 no. You're not getting away from me. You're not getting away from me. So don't even try it. And one of them got away. Two of them got away. Alright, and then they start showing up down here. Or I can just hang around over here. Wait for them to pop up. Or I can just nab some free points and XP from that alone. Take that. I'll take that. Alright, that goes down quickly. Ah, just barely missed that one. They keep showing up in positions I at least... And, of course, I accidentally stopped myself there and missed that power-up. Well, we're off to a great start this round. Yep. We're off to a great start. Hey. Okay, reasonable amount of power. Out of the way. Let's get going with this first boss again. I know I occasionally have some trouble on the second stage, but I'm normally not this bad at it. And I know it's not because of the shot type. I'm regularly decently good. Or maybe it is the shot type and I just don't know it yet. I just wouldn't expect myself to be messing up this much. Against the tanks. Pretty sure the tanks in We Play Tanks give you a harder time than that. Alright, let's focus less on trying to pick up items here and just focus on trying to be careful. 'Cause at this point I'm kind of tired of dying on this stage before I even reach the boss. Because for the second stage, it shouldn't be that hard. I know I sometimes occasionally die on the boss, but at least it's for a good reason. Come on, I totally shot that guy first. I keep having the same problem over and over again. This is getting ridiculous. Alright, if we get to be about 30 minutes and I still haven't made it past the second stage, I'm just gonna forget the rule and just continue on with the run. Because I would like to get some experience with the rest of the game instead of just the first two stages. Of course, no, you can't have points. What would the fun be if we prevented you from picking up some simple points? You want those extra lives? Too bad. I am not dying on the... I'm already having enough frustration dying a lot on the first stage. I'm not dying on the the second stage. I'm not dying on the first stage as well. Yeah, just miss everything, why don't you? Alright, just focus on picking up the power. I say that as I try to take out all the remaining enemies. Alright, here we go again. There we go. Alright, moving on. Alright. Outside of those enemies that try to home in on me, I'm just gonna focus on sticking around towards the bottom of the screen. Just make sure nothing gets past me. If I see any items close to a bullet, best I try not to go for it. Okay, for sections like these with these, like, birds, my best focus should be towards taking out all the enemies before I go to picking up items. Because it's specifically those birds that killed me the last time. The main reason why I'm going through a lot of these problems. Alright, now this boss is simple. Now, just gotta make sure I lay low. Just let things pass by like normal. And make sure I not get carried away with the items. Just wait for them to drop down, even if it means little points for the point items. I just want to play it safe at this point. Bit of a disappointing thing to stay on a point in the game where it's, like, considered to be a good idea to, like, try and, you know, focus on picking up a lot of items in the early on stages. But since we're dealing with this issue, something where I'm left with no choice but to focus a bit more towards other things, rather than what I want to focus on. Oh, max power this time. Let's go. We're going into this boss with max power. Now that's more like it. I got this boss. Remember, I want to stick to the streaming attacks. And she's gonna do the weird explosion where it's best to stick to the side. I got scared. Yeah, so it's definitely when you get up to max power that it starts to involve the, Whoa, what? I swear I hit the bomb button there. Now, we're already at about 30 minutes, so I'm just gonna keep going at this point. Even though that feels like kind of a stupid death. That one just shot right at me, like it was just pulling a fast one on me. So that's kind of stupid. Okay. I know of the rule that I mentioned, but considering the fact that we're already reasonable ways into this video, I'm just going to keep going at this point because I want to get at least one full run in this episode. Even if I am disappointed since I didn't get to use up all my bombs, I want to get a full run in. Okay, so they specifically home in only when I get up to full power. And what did I get hit by? Excuse me, what did I get hit by? Alright, I am beginning to question if it was a good idea to utilize... forget the rule this one instance. Just because of that. That was just plain stupid is what that was. Out of all the things to get... I'm getting hit by only the stupid stuff. That's something that's kind of getting on my nerves. Of course, my homing projectiles are trying to hit the unhittable targets. Alright, back up to max power. So at this point, I'm just collecting the items for points. Alright, moving on. What else do we got? Okay, more of these guys. Oh, come on, Reimu, pick up the power. The more power we pick up, the higher the point multiplier is. The more points we get for picking up power. Alright, this is the point where we gotta start using bombs, so... we start being a bit more careful around here. Bomb. Ah, I missed the bomb. And the power. Of course. Just missing everything. Okay, that's a bomb. Let's pick that up. Since I know that... I totally thought I'd be fitting through that. Come on. So I guess there was no reason to pick up the bombs anyway, because I'm still getting hit by everything. Not happy. Why did I use a bomb there? Still not using the bombs well, and whenever I do use the bombs, it's always at a point where I didn't need to use bombs. This is ridiculous. I'm already disappointed in this run, and like many instances now, do I feel like I should just restart the run? Yeah, no, I'm restarting this run because I'm quite disappointed in this one. I can already tell it's doomed for failure. No, I would not like to continue. I know what I said earlier, but at this point, I'm quite disappointed in the run that I'm just ready to just start it over. Because I'm already fully disappointed. I could already tell we were losing. So there was no point in me going any further when I wasn't really going to make it much farther anyway. Was okay with one death on the second stage, but some of those deaths that I was getting on that third stage were just way too stupid. And I was just failing to really use my bombs wisely, so I just decided, you know what, just start over. Alright, start going after the cannons on the side here. So those are easy pickings. Of course, none of them drop any power. Seems I thought for sure that they drop... This entire episode has been nothing but disappointment after disappointment. And I don't want to end this episode until I get a full run in. So what gives that I can't have at least one reasonably skilled run here? Every single death I've had in every single run has been nothing but stupid hits. I was willing to give an exception on one of them, since I wanted to try and get a bit more experience moving forward, but then the game just continued to be just plain stupid with me. So I decided, that's enough. I'm ready to move on to something else. Except I'm not really moving on because I want to finish this. Come on, drop some power. Out of the way. Like Freezing's time set, there's really no other tips he can offer me for this. So I'm kind of just stuck having to figure this all out. And it mostly just feels like all I can really do is just figure out what I'm supposed to do about a lot of the stupid stuff. Okay, focus on the power. Oh, I couldn't see that there was power over there. Come on. Ugh. Alright, here we go again. Alright, I'm ready for you. Alright. First thing I'm gonna do when I get to that the center orb in the third stage boss, I'm gonna just mainly, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna stay away from the middle, similar to what I'm doing here, since clearly sticking directly under it is a bad idea, at least in that opening part. Then, once I get far enough, not sure if I should just bomb it, or if I should at least give that part a chance, even if those beams are a little bit unpredictable. So I know Freezing Time mentioned them in what I read at the beginning of the video. So should I just bomb my way through that? Maybe I'll take Freezing Time's advice and just bomb my way through that attack. Then I can take the time to... If I need to be a bit more sparing with my bombs, I can see if I can take a chance with that particular attack. No. I've had enough of getting hit by anything. Alright, this fight's simple. Alright, then they're gonna start whipping out the enemies that are gonna be going all side to side and stuff. Question is, will we be able to get to max power again before the second boss? Pick up the power. All these bats coming from everywhere. Alright, there we go, max power again. So we can start working up that multiplier. As long as I don't get hit by any stupid deaths this time when I go up against this boss. So let's see how we do. That part's simple. Alright, just gotta make sure I don't move around very much, because I think that's kind of streaming based, so it's like... So don't move around very much. I should be okay there. I couldn't see any openings through that, so saw it best to just bomb that. Alright, then it's gonna... I hit the bomb button. Hello? Of course, I attempted to change fate, but clearly the game said no. Come on, I just want a reasonably decent run where I don't get hit by a bunch of stupid deaths. Because I feel like the attacks that have at least a reasonable pattern, you know, feel like a reasonable challenge that feels fair. And like even Touhou 11, even if Touhou 11 was kind of annoyingly difficult, at least it felt fair. Here though, the only thing that makes it as hard as Touhou 11 is the fact that a lot of the deaths I'm facing are really stupid deaths. And it kind of makes this game feel much more unfair compared to the later on games. I know it's one of the older titles, but... And it's like the first time he started making them into, like, more of a shoot-'em-up, but seriously, this has been quite disappointing so far. Alright, back up to full power. Alright, let's go. Oh yeah, I remember this part, and then they start shooting from multiple directions, which overwhelmed me last time. Yeah, I remember that part. And they keep shooting at you, so you gotta really pay attention to where they're coming from, and know where they're coming from. You didn't fool me this time. A bit worried about my movements on this part, because I'm getting very close to the bullets. I don't know if this game has grazing, but I've been doing quite a bit of grazing on that particular mid-boss. And, oh, come on, shoot the one that is firing at you. Come on! Well, at least I was able to avoid it all. Hang on. See if I can shoot them all in front of me so I can get the most points possible in front of me. So I don't have to... So I can get more points to appear directly in front of me. Okay, some decent points there. And then it's... Oh, okay, no, we still got a ways to go with these regular enemies. I keep forgetting about this last wave before the invisible bullets come in. Or the out-of-nowhere attacks, you could say. Okay, definitely better than last time. Let's, see how we do this time. I know for a fact that when I take one of these, two of these orbs drop bombs, so I know it'll be a good idea to, make sure I'm hanging directly under them when I get to the... And I still miss it. Okay, that's the one with the power. We want the bombs. Okay, do not hang directly under it very often, because it's gonna go straight to that. And okay. Alright, wait, are those streaming? I can't tell. With those beams. Ah! I got scared. Alright, where are we here? Alright, get ready. And now. I'm really staggering a lot this run, except I'm not sure if it's luck, wizard magic, or how I'm avoiding a lot of this. But I'm being quite ready for a lot of these attacks. Okay, this, yeah, just simple back and forth notion. That's the kind of stuff I can at least be ready for. Okay. I, to my shock, did not have to use as many bombs as I thought I would have to there. So I'm certain as long as I can be reasonably wise with how I use my bombs, and use them on the parts of the game where I know I'll be needing to use my bombs. Oh, no. Okay. Nice try. Jeez. See, again, they're trying to pull more fast ones on me. I'll tell you this, it ain't gonna work. Alright, Alright, looks like the maximum for power points from the power is 12,800, it seems. Oh, yep, these guys. Here we go with these guys again. Alright, and I gotta be ready for when we get to that mid-boss. Oh, mid-boss. Gonna be waiting for me up here. Alright, here we go. Maybe that was a bit too early to bomb it, but I kind of just want to use the bomb on this guy since, like, it's always shooting everything after everything. So yeah, just quick bomb my way through that, since I know I usually always get hit once during that particular mid-boss. No, I'm a little bit disappointed what the maximum amount of points you get from picking up power is. Considering the amount you have to get it multiplied that high, it's quite low compared to the maximum amount it's at in Touhou 6. I know we're quite a ways from that game, and this is the first one and all, but still, though, some little nitpicks I'm just pointing out here. Okay, and then we get to the annoying stuff at one point right here, so I'll just go ahead and use a bomb right there. Alright, just bomb my way through that. on that part. And then we get to our confrontation with Nema. Alright, here she comes. Hey there. Alright, I'm a bad guy. Let's deal with my apprentice here while I go do evil stuff. I just wasn't quite ready there. Alright, let's see how we do here. I swear I pressed the bomb button there. Wait, hang on. Of course, I get hit twice right at the start of the fight. One of them I didn't even get the chance to use any bombs. At least with the slowdown effect from the bombs, it at least gives me some kind of an opening to be able to at least do a bit of a maneuver past it. Also, I think it's similar to other Touhou games in that, depending on which shot type I'm using, that factors into the kind of magic attack she uses with the orbs. Something I'm clearly not ready for, seeing how I'm bombing a lot, and whenever I'm not bombing, Okay, at least that gave me some time to be ready for it, where it wasn't as bad. Having used 2 bombs for a single attack, yikes. Whoa, 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 what was that now? Nema, forgive me. Alright, let's move. The barrier disappeared. I guess that means we're ready. Let's go. Lady Nema has great power, mistress. It won't be easy, but don't forget, I'm here with you also. Well, be careful. Whatever you say, Gramps. Alright, 1 life, 3 bombs. Let's see how we do here. Also, I need to get some of my power back, so grab some power while we can. Alright, back at max power. There was more than that, right? Okay, no. Nema, show yourself! I'll get you this time. Huh, you're late. I wonder just how well you wield your power. Yes, you are truly the heir to the Hakure clan. Very well. I shall have my fill of your power and those orbs. What are you trying to say? Only a blood member of the Hakure clan can use the yin-yang orbs. They are shaped by their wielder's power and feed off of it. Once they have absorbed enough, they release it in a single massive burst, be it for good or for ill. They then return to normal and begin to absorb it once more. That power is what you're after? But of course, it doesn't matter now, though. No, it's nothing. More importantly, Reimu, you're here to defeat me, are you not? That's right. As a shrine maiden of the Hakure Shrine, it is my duty to seal you away for good. That's the spirit. Very well, I won't hold back. I said I wouldn't hold back. Alright, so this time now that I didn't use any continues just to get to her. Gonna really go all out this time. Ooh, a 1-up. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't see any way around that attack. Also wasn't ready for that. Okay, I was ready for that. Ha! Ha! Let's go. Definitely using the bombs more wisely has helped in terms of, okay, what do I do there? Sorry, that's just a regular attack. Alright, and then, oh, okay. Alright, that's still... Okay, that was a bit of a surprise hit. So I'm not quite sure what to do there. Alright, did we get her? You are indeed... No, there's nothing for it. You think you can run? You're not going anywhere. I won't hold back now. I thought you said you weren't holding back from the start. Oh, jeez, there's more? Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. 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 Where did this come from all of a sudden? Alright, I'm gonna bomb this attack, because that's the one I seem to have difficulty slipping through. So I'll just bomb... I had not expected... Did I actually win? It's too late. Did we do it? I think we did it, folks! We got the first good ending. Did that say hour or month? Oh, finally finished cleaning. Come on, give me some time to read that, man. Lunch break time. I've had a lot of free time lately. It's been a month since then, but nothing like that has happened. I guess she's decided to behave herself? Well, she is sealed up behind the shrine. Better check on her real quick. Hey, the seal's already broken! Oh no, what am I going to do? I guess after all that, I'm going to have to chase her again. In the end, history repeats itself as usual. At the Hakure Shrine. Hey, by the way... What is it? When Nema and the others talked about the power of the Hakure, what on earth did they mean? That would be the ability to draw out the Yin-Yang Orb's true power. The true power of the Yin-Yang Orb? Yes, it's finally time to tell you. It must be something really amazing. It is... Would you like to know the effect of the Alright, stop dragging it on, buddy. Effect, what is it? Fragrance. Is that really what those guys were after? But it's no ordinary fragrance, I'm afraid. What is it? You can choose your favorite scent, but that's only a little useful. Lavender is good for when you wake up, and Japanese cypress is good for the shrine. When you're in the mood for floral scents, it can do that too. I get it, I get it. So, what is the mood for? Well, if this is our shrine's greatest treasure, what exactly is our shrine for? Well, I'll put it in the entrance for now. Okay then, please set the fragrance today to strawberry stalks till buried in the snow. Ugh, good night. Alright, good end number 2. Alright. Congratulations. So, thank you, Freezing Time, for your recommendation of using the defensive type. I don't know if that actually made things easier for me or if it made it harder. We shall see when we try out some later on attempts, but I was definitely much better in terms of knowing when to use the bombs there, as well as, while there were a few moments I felt like I was kind of cheap-shotted, I was still able to pull through, and while I was kind of down to my last life there, I had a couple of bombs to spare, and was able to do much better that time around. So this time around, victory is all ours. And I know he probably wasn't planning on taking Touhou very far after this, but I do kind of like how it has kind of like the, uh-oh, here we go again, kind of trope that a lot of classic games would like to do, where like the whole process repeats itself again kind of thing, where even though we saved the day, you know, the whole process starts all over again. Always a classic trope. I've been seeing it ever since, you know, the 120% ending in Spyro the Dragon. Classic stories like the good old Captain Underpants series. So, with that being said, let's see what ranking we got now that we managed to pull off a good ending this time. Thank you for playing. So I'm okay with 1 death on the second stage, but anything more than that, I'll be quite disappointed in. Alright, rank normal. Initial lives 3. Initial bombs 3. What do we got for our rank? Our skill level is 38. Kind of bad. Alright. I do suppose I still have some skills yet to be desired, but at least we won. That's all that matters at this point. We were able to get 1 good ending on normal difficulty. And for that, I'm satisfied for this episode. Well, with that being said, that should now give us... Oh, that's right, we gotta get all 3 good endings to unlock the extra stage, so we can't quite do that on Friday streaming yet. Nonetheless, we're 1 step closer to beating it, and if we can pull this off for the remaining shot types, we should be good. Though we'll see how that goes when we get to doing those next time. I mean, I don't think I did too bad utilizing the mobile type, so I'll definitely be starting out by going back to the mobile type, since it was definitely useful on the regular stages. And as long as I bomb in the right moments against some of those bosses, I'm certain it shouldn't be bad. Unless, of course, you'd prefer I do the offensive type next, Freezing Time, but that shall be up to you. Until then, thank you for watching, and until next time, this is the Gamer of Gamers, and stay excellent, everyone!